You're worthless. Absolutely worthless. Those words cut through the noise of the bustling coffee shop as my supervisor, Jerome, loomed over me, his face flushed with fury. Pack your stuff. You're done here. I remained frozen in place, my laptop, still open to the presentation I'd spent weeks preparing. Silence blanketed the cafe, and every gaze had landed on us. Humiliation burned across my face as Jerome's rant carried on, completely unaware, uncaring of the attention he had drawn. 3 years down the drain with you, Belinda? What have I got to show for it? Mediocre results and missed deadlines. You're a liability to this company, and frankly, I should have cut you loose long ago. I'm Belinda Martinez. I'm 37, and up until 5 minutes ago, I was serving as a senior project manager at Driftshade Limited, mid-sized manufacturing consulting firm based in Portland, Oregon. I gave 3 relentless years to that place, pulling 60-hour work weeks, pushing aside my personal life just to meet impossible demands. But to Jerome Walsh, my direct boss and hands down the most poisonous figure I've encountered in a workplace, none of it meant a thing. I tried to speak to defend myself, but Jerome wasn't done. Don't even think about asking for a reference. Who'd hire someone like you? A woman seated behind me shifted in her chair, her tailored suit and silver hair suggesting authority. She looked to be in her 50s, someone who carried weight in any room. I wanted to vanish as Jerome's voice rose again. You and your so-called process improvements. Worthless. Ideas without execution are nothing, and you can't execute anything right. That one hit harder than the rest. The improvements, he sneered. It had saved Driftshade over $200,000 in just the last year. Streamlined quality control, revamped client management systems, raised efficiency by 30%. But Jerome had always claimed the credit, dressing my ideas up as his own when presenting. To upper management, my hands shook as I shut my laptop. A wave of self-doubt crashed over me, drowning me in old insecurities. Maybe he was right. Maybe I really wasn't worth much. The shop was dead silent as Jerome grabbed his things, still muttering insults as he left. Then I found my voice. Jerome. Wait, he spun, seething. Don't waste your breath, Belinda. You're finished. And with a slam of the door, he was gone. I sat motionless, stunned. Conversations around me slowly resumed, though I could still feel the occasional sympathetic glance. My coffee had gone cold. My hands trembled too much to lift the cup. Working at Driftshade had once been a dream. They helped manufacturing businesses streamline operations, and I'd been eager to bring my engineering knowledge to the table. I had graduated summa cum laude from Oregon State with a master's in industrial engineering. Years of experience at smaller firms paved my way here. But from the very start, Jerome had made my life unbearable. He was the kind of boss who took credit when things went right and pointed fingers when they didn't. He piled on the impossible, unachievable projects, crushing timelines, and then berated me in front of others when things fell short. I watched him tear down talented team members until they quit, one by one. The worst part? He deliberately sabotaged my work. Just last month, I created a groundbreaking inventory tracking system that could revolutionize how clients manage their supplies. I poured weeks into the design, perfecting it. Jerome dismissed it as too complex and shelved it only for me to overhear him. 2 weeks later, pitching the exact concept to our biggest client, presenting it as his own. When I confronted him, he laughed in my face and dared me to prove it. Couldn't. The work, technically company property, had conveniently lost all trace of my involvement. That moment should have been my cue to leave, but I stayed. I believed in the company's mission supporting smaller manufacturers against big corporations. My personal life suffered. I stopped seeing friends. My apartment turned into a disaster zone. I even passed on a date with David, a charming architect. I met at a barbecue, because Jerome demanded I work through the weekend for a project that ultimately went nowhere. Now here I was, tit in a cafe with my world in pieces. 3 years of sacrifice, and for what? Was Jerome right all along? That's when I heard a voice. Excuse me, I couldn't help overhearing. I turned to see the woman from the next table. Close, she was even more impressive, tall, graceful. With intelligent green eyes and a sincere smile, she extended her hand. I'm Victoria Ashworth, CEO of Velwyn Education. Mind if I sit? Her name hit me like thunder. Self-made billionaire. I'd just read about her in Forbes, stammered, motioning to the empty seat. I'm Belinda Martinez. Victoria sat with poise, instantly calming the air. Belinda. What I saw was disgraceful. No employee deserves that. Tears welled up. Thank you. I don't even believe it myself right now. You should, she replied. Worthless people don't write the kind of algorithms I just saw on your screen. You read my presentation? She smiled. I have great eyesight. And your algorithm, efficient, brilliant, that kind of thinking doesn't just happen. I stared at her, stunned. In 5 minutes, she'd seen the value Jerome had buried for 3 years. You really think it has potential? Victoria laughed. Potential? Belinda, what you've built could change the game. Real-time analytics alone are worth millions. She reached into her bag and handed me her card. I'd like to make you an offer. Velwyn is expanding into manufacturing consulting. We need someone like you to lead the charge. My heart pounded. But you don't even know my full qualifications. I know enough, she said. You're brilliant, driven, and deeply undervalued. And you've got the courage to create, Evan, when no one's listening? She leaned closer. Jerome got one thing right. Ideas without execution are worthless. But you execute beautifully. And I want that on my team. I took her card, trembling. Her direct line was printed in gold. Think about it, she said, rising. But not too long. Opportunities like this don't wait around. 2 days later, I was still staring at her card in disbelief. Part of me thought it couldn't be real. But everything I'd read about Velwyn only made the offer seem more extraordinary. A multi-billion-dollar company built on innovation and led by someone who believed in treating people right. Monday. On a gray Portland morning, I passed Driftshades' office on my way to the cafe. I'm not sure why. Maybe I hoped for some closure. What I saw instead chilled me. Through the conference room window, Jerome was pitching to Westbrook Manufacturing, using my inventory system. The very one he called too complicated just weeks ago. I ducked into a nearby alley and called Patricia, friend in accounting. Patricia, is Jerome showing my system to Westbrook right now? Silence. Then, yes. I'm so sorry, Belinda. Everyone here knows it's your work, but they're all scared of him. I understand. But I need a favor. Any proof that I developed that system? Emails, files? Can you find it? There was a long pause. I could lose my job. You could also help stop a fraud, I said quietly. 20 minutes later, she sent a zip file. Emails, project logs. Specs all with my name on them. Jerome's role. Minimal at best. He just signed off on budgets. But then I found something else. Financial projection showing the Westbrook deal was worth over $5 million. Plus long-term contracts worth even more. He wasn't just stealing. He was building an entire business unit off my work. That night, I called Victoria. She answered herself. Belinda, I was hoping you'd call. I'm interested in the job, I said. But there's something you should know, told her. Everything. Jerome's abuse. The stolen credit. The deal with Westbrook. She was furious. That's theft and fraud. You need legal representation. I can't afford a legal fight. He's got the whole company behind him. Not anymore. She said, accept the job. We'll provide legal support. You deserve justice, and we'll help you get it. The next day, I joined Velwyn. Victoria personally showed me to the 15th floor of my future office. It was modern, expansive, stunning. The salary's $200,000, with bonuses and $500,000. Research budget, she said. But there's one condition. Fight for your intellectual property. It's not just for you, but for everyone like you. I looked out over Portland, felt something I hadn't in years. Hope. Yes, I said.
Oh.
Do it.